So yes, it is correct to say that these dogs were bred to fight. They were bred to attack, and they were bred to kill over many, many years. And the question of whether or not breeding works, of course it does. The question of whether or not Darwinism is real, of course it is. You can breed for height. You can breed for intelligence. You can breed for stupid if you really want to, right? Obviously, this can take place. You can breed for athleticism. We see examples of this all the time. But it's important to note that just because you are bred in one way or the other does not mean that you are locked into that permanent state, right?
Hi, it's Alonzo Bodden with another Rebel HQ TYT video, and Candace Owens is back. And she's got an idea. Well, Candace, let me start with a saying they have in boxing. Never lead with the chin. Candace, don't say we can breed for stupidity. That just makes it too easy. Listen, Candace, dogs have been bred for hunting and for fighting and for protection and various characteristics and so on. But we don't breed humans, okay? Hitler wanted to breed humans. And side note, Candace, when he was thinking of breeding a master race, black women were not involved. Now, I will say I am somewhat surprised you believe in Darwinism. And some might say you slip through the cracks when it comes to survival of the fittest. I didn't say it. I'm saying that some might say it. Candace, we're not breeding athletes. We're not breeding mathematicians. However, maybe we could breed Koreans. Stay tuned. Let's find out.
So right now, the most mathematically capable people in the world are Koreans. It doesn't mean that Koreans are forever going to be the most mathematically capable people in the world. We could start breeding Americans to be better at math. We could start doing what they do over in Korea, or we could not. And we can remain probably the dumbest mathematical country in the world.
Yes, Candace, the Koreans are fantastic in math, but I don't think it's selective breeding. I think it's a culture that values education. I think they work hard and study, and that's how they got there. Perhaps we could do that, Candace. Perhaps rather than trying to breed mathematicians, we could value education. We could put more money into schools. We could pay teachers more. Half the country thinks intellectual is an insult. I don't think that's how it works in Korea. What about college education being free? What about just respecting education? Any of these things, Candace. Hey, here's an idea. If you want kids to be smarter, let's do something about school shootings. That way they don't have to worry about getting blown to bits when they go to school. I'm just spitballing here, Candace, throwing out things other than selective breeding. Now, it is nice of you to say that once you bred these mathematicians, they're free to do other things with their lives. That's generous, I guess, if we're breeding people. Breeding people. You know who would confuse you? Jeremy Lin. Can you imagine that? An Asian who went to Harvard, who's great in basketball? What breed does that fit into, Candace? I'm not sure. Maybe some sort of a hybrid. Let's talk a little more about breeding. Candace, and I looked this up, Candace, because I wanted to be sure, but even during slavery, the absolute worst time in American history for black people, people being treated beyond inhumane, the unimagined cruelty, yeah, it was real. I know they don't teach it in Florida, but it was real. Even then, they did not breed for characteristics. The slave masters encouraged slaves to have kids so that they would have more slaves. But even they did not think to breed for characteristics. Candace, I don't know where you're coming from with this. I don't know why you think this is a good idea. And I don't know why you think it can be done. But Candace, we are not going to breed mathematicians. How about using your platform to talk about spending more money on education to make American kids smarter? Hey, there's an idea. Rather than trying to make America great again, let's make America smart. Hell, let's start with not insulting people for being an intellectual. Yeah, you check with those intellectuals. They'll tell you about the history of attempted breeding. It's not good. Not good.